From Tally to Cali.
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by
Vitamin Energy.
The vitamins.
The energy.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. Coming up on today's show, the kids say there's levels to this. So how close is FSU to championship level play this season in football? And we recap another weekend of winning on the diamond for Link and Lonnie. Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. Shake it and take it, everybody. Sip the juice, the Focus Plus, the tropical infusion flavor. Dropping, it's new, everybody. 260 milligrams all natural caffeine. That gives you the energy, but it's called Vitamin Energy. There's vitamins, there's nutrients to help with things like your focus, immune response, your mood. B16, B12, L-carnitine, citrulloline, potassium, vitamin B3, and green tea extract, all in the Focus Plus. Again, this is clinically tested, clinically proven to enhance your focus. It's Vitamin Energy. Give it a shot, everybody. Shake it and take it. vitaminenergy.com. Corey, we're going to be getting some new flavors, some new swag as well. So
good.
We'll need to do a post-production meeting on whether I mail it to your manor estate in Tallahassee or Atlanta. How are things? How's the cohabitation thing going in this wonderful marriage of yours, which is has it hit the 1 year mark, or is it coming up on the 1 year mark?
Yeah, it hit the 1 year mark on Sunday. So thanks, buddy. We appreciate that. We made it 1 year, so we won the bet. Everything else is gravy. We'll see if we cash in, double down. We might try to double up. But yeah, no, it's been going well. It's I've never lived with cats before.
Okay.
So that's something I'm getting used to. There's cat hair literally on everything and all over my clothes. I like one because he'll come like jump in my lap and just lay there.
Yeah.
The other one just I never see him. Doesn't never do anything. But yeah, so 1 out of 2 is not bad, I guess. So they're sticking around for a little bit longer.
All right. Well, congrats to you and the bride. I assume good weekend with the two of you then. Yes.
Yeah. Actually hung out with Shane and Michelle.
Nice.
Pillars. Went to dinner on Saturday night with them. They were in town for the Bowden Society stuff. So, which I guess they got to see on Sunday. They got a tour of the facilities, the stadium, and what it's going to look like, what it looks like now, what it will look like. So yeah, man, they were. It was a good weekend.
I meant to push back on this one time, Corey, because I know you and I. Maybe I did bring it up on the show, and you can shoot me down, and we can get to the news of the day, if you will. But being over at Hauser here recently to cover baseball games, which I was not this past weekend, but had been. Listen, I know you and I are kind of on the opposite sides of things when it comes to infrastructure and facilities and whether or not you're going to get wins based off all this money. But, dude, seeing what the football-only facility looks like right now.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And, again, I don't know if it's what it's going to result in, but, like, if you're an alum, obviously if you're a player, a past player, like when you're going to come visit campus now and you see that, and this sort of the sad part of it's like, well, like everybody else has had that for years, and now finally Florida State has it. Maybe that seals the deal.
I don't think many of them look like that, though.
Yeah,
the way and I guess you can't. I don't know how well you can see it from Stadium or Pensacola, but if you're in the baseball stadium looking at it, and that breezeway down the third base line, and you see the glass. I don't know what you call it. Encasing? I don't know what you. I'm not. I don't build, guys. I don't know words for.
You
things.
Used to be a GC. You gave it up though.
That's right. But the way it looks, and it's still. I don't know if is it a halfway done? Like they've still got tons of work to do, but you can see it coming together, and it looks like it's just going to be breathtaking almost. And it's funny. I was up there on Saturday hanging out with some friends of mine, and I have a friend named Ron who's just the most cynical. Glass is half empty dude there's ever been when it comes to just sports in general. But he looked at that thing and was like, that thing looks unbelievable. That thing is gorgeous. And I'm like, so even he was swayed by how good it looks. It's going to be incredible, I think, when it's all done. Even Alford told me that. I was walking out, not to name drop. I already name dropped Ron, and now I'm name dropping Michael Alford. But I was walking out of the stadium with him on Friday night after the baseball game, and he's like, wait till you see what it looks like inside. I'm like, well, good, because it looks incredible outside, too. He's like, yeah, wait till – and I even joked. I was like, yeah, I've always said I'd rather have an NFL offensive line than whatever that is, but I was wrong. That thing looks incredible.
Yeah. All right, moving along. So the football team, listening to Seminole headlines, which is somewhat dated, but everybody go listen to it. Also become a member of our YouTube members-only channel if you're not part of the gold level membership of warchant.com, so you can get that bonus segment.
Yeah.
But I know, we got to move past this over-under stuff because we talked probably way too much about last week. But again, everybody, it was February. It's now March. I can't believe it's March. We don't even know when spring football is going to start. But I was looking at it last year, Corey. I think it wasn't until like March 12th that we actually got the schedule for
it's going to be after spring break. Spring break starts Friday is the last day of classes, this Friday for students. So that next week is off. So that would be, I don't know what that means. That would be like March 17th, I would guess. Would be March 17th, March 18th is my guess for when spring practice starts, because that'll be the week after spring break.
And, you guys talking obviously the great things Florida State's been able to do here in the reboot, new coordinators, all these new players, and, how we see the over-under going. And there's these two thoughts I had, which never is a good thing to bring to the table because I'm never able to, verbalize it well enough to make you roll off some stuff that's relevant to, but then you end up talking about something that's great nonetheless. So I proceed. Obviously, you start the season 2-0. And one part of me was wondering, we can maybe talk about this. I don't want to talk about
Clarify
this.
Clarify that we're not assuming a win over Alabama.
Right.
The two games they play that are automatic wins later that month. Yeah.
I want to shelf that. That might be a better conversation. I want to get to this point of it where, man, I know they've gone to Portland, they've gotten everybody in high heaven to make this thing better. But I was thinking about, I think we're almost overcomplicating some things when we think about how good this team can be, because it wasn't that long ago, obviously, we saw an amazing football team in 2023. And I'm thinking about what they were in 2022, right? Like that team started off, 4-0, loses 3 straight, ends the season winning 6 straight, 10-3. You feel really good. Could have been a dangerous team if there was a 12-team playoff, 14-team playoff, whatever. But you think about how, what that foundation was from that team core and then what they added. Because in 23, we always talk about Fisk and we talk about Keon. But, they added Fentrell. Yeah. That was a huge move because you already had Renardo playing at a high level, and Renardo played incredibly well in 2023. So, I just think about, obviously, what the floor was for a team like 2022, and that was a wildly talented team. And Jared Verse actually played better in 2022 than he did in 2023. So, you had this huge baseline. You were in such a better position, and you added these other things on the edges almost to make yourself going all for it, because that was the whole tagline for the Battle's End, to become
Jaheim Bell, too.
Yeah. To make a national, Jeremiah Byers, for better or worse or whatever. They obviously did not have that floor last year, and what they added this year, I don't know if it's comparable to what they had. So I don't know if that factors into the 7.5 or when we start thinking about 10 wins. But what comes down to it for me is just thinking about, man, when you're a fantastically talented, they were overwhelmingly more talented than everybody they played in 2023. So in that point, you can look at the schedule rather, and be like, all right, they'll win that game, they'll win that game, they'll win that game. I just really don't know how much more talented they really will be than everybody outside of, say, Virginia Tech, Wake, and then the 2 FCS teams.
Yeah, I think they're more talented than most teams on the schedule, but it's not an overwhelming degree. We'll see, though, right? We'll see how good the younger guys are that are becoming sophomores or juniors. Maybe some guys take some big leaps. But no, I see what you're saying. The disparity isn't like Ohio State versus Akron. Right. It's not going to be like that. But you have gotten better at just about every position. And I just think you were going to have at least equal talent across the board. Look, it's crazy to say, but last year that offensive line was the worst offensive line on every football field it stepped on. Whether maybe not talent, but coaching, combination of the two, injury, scheme, whatever it was, that offensive line performed worse than every offensive line on the football field it shared, except for Charleston Southern. But I think when you want to look at the 2022 going to 2023, they didn't need a ton of pieces to be 10 wins. Again, they didn't need any. They were probably gonna win 10 games if Fisk doesn't come, if Keon doesn't come, that's probably a 10-win team again.
It's the thing about the excitement, Corey, coming off that season, and it's like Jordan's coming back. Like, oh my gosh, like versus probably going to the draft. No, he's not. He's coming back. Oh, and they added the number one cornerback in the entire, according to PFF. Oh, and they added Keon Coleman. Oh, and they added Braden Fisk. It's like that's the team that's going to be the one that sets the world on fire.
Yeah, well, it did, and then it didn't get a chance to keep going, and Jordan got hurt. But this team, it's like obviously the baseline is much, much lower. You're not trying to build on a 10-win, top 10 or top 11 team, whatever that team finished ranked in 2022. You're trying to get ranked. I do think – so you've had to add more bodies in the transfer portal, like guys that – you knew Jaheim and you knew Fisk were going to start and Byers were going to start, but you had a pretty solid starting 22-ish. This year you don't at all. I mean, the biggest player you had to replace after 2022 was Jamie Robinson. In 2024, you had to replace all of them, and they didn't replace them well. But I think so. Let's say that last year's team was a 3-win team. Like that was a 3-win team. You're trying to add, and it had a harder schedule. You're trying to add 4 more wins, 5 more wins. I think they've done enough that this is easily. I guess to go back to your original point, I think they have an edge in talent on every team they play, save for probably the first game, probably Clemson, maybe one of the Florida schools. Meaning they're not going to. They
but
should
that's
not be
significant, though. Right?
No.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I always come back to the coin toss. If your roster is 60% and the other team is 40%, if you're 15 or 20% better than the other team, however you would want to quantify that, that does not guarantee wins in football. That means you probably win a game 7 out of 10 times if you played them. 8 out of 10. But you only play once. So they're going to have a chance to lose every game they play, save for the 2 in September. They also should have a chance to win every game they play and maybe roll to a few. I just think that's because they will be more talented than most. They won't. Maybe the better point is they won't be at a decided disadvantage talent-wise. And I do think that they brought in some real guys that can make plays. And I think the quarterback, if he can stay healthy and grow, could be a difference maker. And you need one of those because you certainly didn't have it last year.
And I think really good points by Ira just to talk about, like when you're talking about Deuce and Squirrel White. And listen, I'm very high on Deuce. I'm cautiously optimistic on Squirrel White.
Did you get a dog?
Yeah, I'm in Duval.
Oh.
How did my guy say it, Liam Cohen? Duval.
Yeah, he nailed it. He's a man of the people.
Yeah, she's a little guard dog that we got over here. She keeps us safe here.
Well, tell her to shut up. We're trying to talk about serious stuff.
Shut the door here. I'll shut the door here. Where were we talking about? But yeah, so
Ira, you said Ira made a good point.
Yeah, so talking like cautiously optimistic on Squirrel White, optimistic, maybe overly optimistic on what Deuce Robinson can be. Compare that to as you kind of pointed out on headlines, like Malik Benson and Jaylen Brown. I mean, that's a significant upgrade right there. Like Herb Hand and whatever these 5 guys are going to be, you almost blindly can say significant upgrade over to what last season ended up being in Alex Atkins. But you're never just it comes to the quarterback, man. It comes to the trigger, man, and we'll see if Tommy can be anything close to what Jordan was last season. And I didn't get down to the bottom of Ira's question, too, about why he had such a low QBR. There might be something to your thoughts on maybe the average yards per attempt and things like that. Maybe he didn't throw a lot on third down. Maybe a lot of his yards didn't come on third down. But we'll see if Tommy can operate at a similar level. Is that fair to say similar level to like 2022 Jordan with the kind of the weaponry that he's going to have?
No, I don't. Like Jordan, the second half, really the whole season, Jordan was incredible. He was very, very good the whole season. I think he had one bad game, and that was at NC State against a really good defense. He won the Florida game for him. He really, really won the Oklahoma game for him. He was very, very good. I'm not expecting Tommy Castellanos to be that. I'm wanting, honestly, I don't want people to recoil. Give me Jordan 2021. That guy, because remember, he didn't play. I think he went 5-3 as a starter, and one of those losses was at Clemson. So he won more than he lost.
And Notre Dame, right? In the opener against Notre Dame where he played
the opener against Notre Dame when they went to overtime, and McKenzie came in and got him to overtime. But like those were 2 of the 3 losses that he had, and the other one was at Florida where he missed all of the second quarter with an injury. So when he played, he was good enough with his legs. He was not – you guys remember Jordan in 2021. He didn't set the world on fire with his right arm. That's the version, I think, that you hope if Tommy Castellanos can be that guy, the 2021 Jordan, because remember, he made as many plays with his legs as with his arm, maybe more so. If he can, and just scrambling, avoiding pressure, then hitting throws, he was very efficient. Think back to the Carolina game that year where he was like 10 of 12 or whatever it was. He didn't even throw that much. Biggest throw he made all year was the Miami game on 4th and 14 where he let it rip. But he was not an accomplished passer in 2021. Give me that quarterback with this team, and with more importantly, again, I'm not sold on this offensive line being great. As I keep saying, I'm sold on the running game being there. So if I can get that kind of production at quarterback, running and throwing, to go along with the running game that I think will be there, plus he's going to have better weapons, no offense to Pokey, but he's going to have better weapons to throw to than Pokey Wilson and Andrew Parchment. So you got to feel like that level of quarterback play combined with what they brought in and on the roster and the coaching staff should equate to wins and points. So give me that. I'm not asking for the world, Aslan.
No.
I'm not asking for 2023 Jordan Travis. I'll take 2021 Jordan Travis because I think they've done enough around him that that could be enough to have a positive season.
Yeah, so in 20, I don't know which season we want to compare Tommy to, but so 21, Jordan Travis completed 63% of his passes, 7.9 yards. I'm assuming that's per attempt. 15 touchdowns, 6 picks. Ran 530 yards, averaged 4 yards per carry, but had 7 scores, had a long of 53 yards.
And remember, played like didn't play in 4 of those games at least,
right?
Because of injury and sickness, like literally. So that was 2/3 of a season that he played. So 500 yards becomes 750 yards rushing. Probably becomes 22 touchdown passes. Like, he was on pace to have a nice season. That's all you're wanting out of Castellanos. It can't be a disaster, and I don't think he's going to be a disaster.
No.
And he's going to win. If he stays healthy, I feel like he wins you a couple games with his legs. Either him running for 130 yards and 2 scores, or the threat of him running opens it up for our man Cromaw or Keziah busting through for an 80-yard run. I think that's my silver lining hope for 2025.
Second part of that, I just think with this roster is going to be, again, like, it's not going to be overwhelmingly more talented than everybody they play. You obviously want to be 4-0. Do they have a bye? They have a bye before the Virginia game? I need to have that in front
I think they have a bye in between the 2 cupcakes, I think, is the way I think it was planned.
Standby.
Scheduled.
Yeah, you're right. Incredible. If they're 4-0 coming out of September, I still don't think that means anything. Like, as crazy as that sounds. Obviously, I just think with where this roster is going to be talent-wise, we're all going to feel great, right? I mean, 4-0, the Florida State's probably going to be
It'd be good to feel good again.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, this isn't me, like, poo-pooing on anything, but Did
you ever see Monsters Ball with Halle Berry and Billy Bob Thornton?
Should I, give me a scale of 1 to 10 of, like, mandatory watch?
Oh, it's a tough watch. There is a famous lovemaking scene in that movie where she just keeps telling him, and it's Halle Berry at peak Halle Berry. It's incredible, but it's not it's not a scene that's really comfortable to watch. Not that you're ever comfortable watching those scenes, but it's painful because they're going through grief, both of them. But she keeps saying, "Just make me feel good. I want to feel good. Just make me feel good." That's the rallying cry for Florida State fans here in 2025. I don't care how they get to 4-0.
Oh, I know.
Just make me feel good, Florida State football team.
But
anyway, people that have seen Monsters Ball, you know what I'm talking about. You got that in your brain now.
Yeah, and I guess I got to watch. What was it, Kill Bill? You guys were talking about, or Pulp Fiction? You guys were talking about when Cameron.
You never watched Pulp Fiction?
No.
Wow.
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah. You need to watch both of those that you just mentioned.
All right, I'll put it on the list there. But yeah, I just think that again that it's going to feel good again. But I still don't think that's going to. Them being 4-0, I don't think would even signify they're like a lock to make the playoff.
Buddy, I would. Of course, it doesn't. Let's just get to that bridge and see what it feels like to cross it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, I don't. They would go They could go 4-4 the next 8, and you're not going to be left with a great taste in your mouth about the 2025 season. But you got to feel good for a little bit, and at least you got to 8 wins. You hit the over, baby. But yeah, no, I get you, man. 4-0 doesn't guarantee anything. Really, your hardest conference games are obviously your hardest conference games are still coming up. Man, it would be so big to beat Alabama, though. Just 4-0 after 2-10, really 2-11, going back to the Orange Bowl. Like, just nothing good has happened for this program in over a year. So it's hard to, not really embrace a 4-0 start if they were to be good enough to get there.
I'll
take a 3-0 start, buddy.
There's somebody out there that keeps track of all the predictions that we make before every game each single week. They need to do something similarly when it comes to everybody in the podcast space talking about the importance of the Alabama game. Because I'm going to be as guilty of it as anybody. That probably there's going to be 10 times between now and August 30th where I'll be like, Alabama game, no, it's not even it's not even the second most important game of the season. Then there's going to be 10 times where I'm going to be like, it's the absolute most important game of the season. Because when I hear you guys talking about it, when you do think it's not even so much, even if they lose like they lost against Notre Dame in 2021, right? And I think you're much more confident going to this game than you were going to the Notre Dame game in 2021.
Yeah.
Even if it's close, it's going to be pain, man. And I know your point about, well, after that you're going to have 2 straight wins pretty much. But it's going to be such a deflating kind of way to start things off with this entirely new look team and program to a certain degree with these new facilities.
Yes, and again, we don't have to re-argue this. I'm sure we'll do it for the next 6 months or whatever. But, yes, it would be deflating. Whether it's a 3-point loss or a 30-point loss, it would be really deflating. People would be upset. It's not a fun way to start the season. If you're 7-1 in October, ain't nobody going to care how they felt on September 1st. They just aren't. They're going to be excited about the inflation that's happened. The football has been inflated, and they feel good about what they're currently watching, and the Alabama game means nothing to them anymore. That's my perspective. It is not a season ender. Not in college football in 2025. Not any time, really, but certainly not now. If you lose a game, that doesn't mean you lost your season. This past year it worked like that because you had to come back and play a home game against a decent team, and you weren't good. And then just the wheels came off. But I just don't think it would be deflating, but it's not defining. Put that on a T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
It's deflating but not defining. That's how I would characterize a loss to Alabama.
If you're not going to make it to Doak, and it might be tough, seats going to be at a premium, price-wise, supply-wise.
About that.
Go check it out over at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill if you're going to be in town for that one. CPTallybar.com, the website, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Hope you all enjoyed Firewall Band this past weekend. Just ripping it up.
They play. I wanted to say they were great. I got there for probably half of it. They played. Do you know "Never Tear Us Apart" by NXS?
Oh my gosh,
that's an incredible song.
Yeah,
an incredible song. I've never heard that played by a cover band, and they knocked it out of the park. They even had a saxophone.
No
guy
way.
playing the keyboard and then the sax.
Hell yeah,
man! They crushed it. They were really good.
All right, Travis Green, you have to maintain that level of excellence. He'll be playing happy hour slot this Friday over the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill from 5 to 8 p.m. So saddle up, run concurrently to the happy hour while listening to some live music.
Yeah.
And then throughout the week, there's always awesome things going on. Trivia on Tuesday nights, bingo on Thursday nights, billiards
by the
time,
way, Corey and Stephanie are hosting trivia on Tuesday.
Okay.
So you have a chance to win because we will. Well, no, our team will still be playing, but we won't be a part of it, obviously. But yeah, we're going to be hosting trivia, and might give you a hint that one of the categories is about Florida State athletics, and maybe if you're listening, it's a little hint. People do this all the time, specifically about perhaps retired numbers.
Oh, okay.
Not jerseys.
All right.
Numbers.
Okay.
Can you name one? Just name one retired number at Doak.
25.
There you go. There you go, Aslan. Perfect. Good job.
That was a deep cut, relatively
Yeah, it was.
speaking.
You didn't go to the obvious ones.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. It's Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. Shake it, take it, sip the juice. Can't wait to get those new potions over to the Midtown offices to see what it's all about. Can't wait to see Florida State continue to play baseball day in, day out, week in, week out. The Noles now 11-0 on the season after another sweep of a non-conference opponent, this time Georgetown. Cool little side sort of angle to this past weekend, Corey. The Sheffield family, right? Congrats to Papa Gary.
So this is crazy, man. This isn't how the world works. So he has a son on both teams. He had a son playing at Florida State, obviously Noah, and then has another son. I think his name is I don't want to get it wrong. Jaden maybe is the other Sheffield son that plays for Georgetown, and they played each other.
Jeremy. Sorry, Jeremy.
No, but there is a Jaden.
No, there's a Jaden. It's Jaden. I'm sorry. I was right.
There's also a Jeremy.
Not related or related.
That plays at Georgetown, that bats leadoff, that is African-American, last name Sheffield, has a similar bat style that the two Sheffields that were actually Gary's kids, this guy has no relation to him at all. How many Sheffields are playing college baseball, period? There's two at Georgetown. One's related to Gary Sheffield, and one has no relation at all. So, of course, the first night I'm there, I'm like, I didn't know he had three boys that all played college baseball. This is cool. I just thought how random is that not only were there two Sheffields playing in the game or in the series, there was also another Sheffield that had nothing to do with any of them.
Incredible.
Not a cousin, not a brother, nothing.
All right, so Florida State takes down the Hoyas 7-2 on Friday night. Jamie Arnold not factored into the decision on that one. Saturday, 11-2 win. Joey Vellini, strong outing for the Noles. And then they had to earn it on Sunday, Corey, 4-3 win. A little shaky effort from the bullpen. Chris Kanier and Ben Barrett, who Barrett had one inning of good work, I feel like, against JU on Tuesday. But Kanier had to come in and really put out the fire and seal the deal. But those guys were not really able to combine to land the plane on Sunday. But then Peyton Prescott came. And so, again, just the similar themes continue to kind of go on. The beat goes on, it seems like, early on here for Florida State, right? Like pitching depth, solid defense, timely offense, and they're 11-0.
Yeah, I thought the biggest development this weekend was Miles Bailey. He's the big, huge local kid that's the first baseman that struggled out of the gate a little bit, making contact and just getting hits. I think he went 6 for 10, had his first home run, which was a bomb. He hit it as high as he did far, but it was like 110 off the bat. It still landed in the road. And if he'd have gotten all of it, it would have landed where the circus tent used to be and hopefully will be again soon. And his game on Sunday, after that game on Saturday, his game on Sunday, he had two lasers to left center field. The game-winning hit, actually, in the 8th inning. Comes up with 2 outs, first and second, maybe first and third, I don't remember, first and second, I think. Just rips a ball to left center field for a single. It was 115 off the bat. And I heard Link talking to Lulu in the postgame show afterwards. He's like, he goes, that's the hardest hit ball I think I've ever seen hit on the TrackMan since we've been calculating them. And it was a line drive up the middle to left center field. The guy just has some juice that's not teachable. It's if he can hone it in and become a really good disciplined hitter. I think he's second or third on the team in walks, too. He batted 9th, which I don't think that will be going on for very much longer. But it was the perfect spot for him on Sunday because he came up with the game on the line and delivered, one of his probably the biggest hit of his career so far. I mean, I haven't played a lot of big games or against good teams, but that's a development because I think if he by May it's comfortable enough, it is like a real power threat, maybe batting in the middle of the lineup that has that kind of ability to hit to the center of the field and trust his power. That's going to man that guy is he could be an impact bat, he could be a difference maker. So that was really good to see that he had the weekend like that because it's just Link talked about it on Saturday. He's like guys don't hit the ball like this. This is not something he's ever coached before. Somebody with this just raw power. And if he can hone it, he's going to hit balls like the one on Saturday where he doesn't even get it.
No.
And he hits at 404. I think they said it was like 411 feet. He didn't even get it.
When they show the angle from like the third base camera, it looks like it was going to be a pop-up.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It went straight up, Aslan, and that's why there wasn't a huge reaction off the bat because it was so high. But then it landed very far because that's what he does, and he's got that kind of power. And I'm not saying he's like this kid at all because this kid was like the number 5 pick in the country. He was also a pitcher, but Caglione, even if he didn't hit one square for Florida last year, the last 2 years, it would still go over the fence by 15 feet. That kind of raw power with an aluminum bat, especially in a short park, that should equate to some really game-changing swings. So that was really good to see. Lodis again was very good at the plate and in the field. He always is. The pitching, I think they gave up 8 hits total the first 2 games. But I liked it Sunday, just like last Sunday, man. They were in a game. They had to go get clutch hits and make clutch outs and clutch pitches. And Prescott came through and made a couple of clutch pitches. Barrett came on in the 7th maybe and got out of a jam by making some clutch pitches. So they've all had their moments in the bullpen where they've delivered when it mattered. Maybe Prescott's the closer. I don't know. They're using him like he might be the guy. But then Kinnear. He was great against JU.
Yeah.
He got them out of that huge jam on Tuesday. And then he was not great at all on Sunday, but his other teammates picked him up. Like, that's kind of the beauty of having depth like that. So, again, it's Georgetown, man. They have not played any good teams this year, really. They're 11-0. But, man, I like some of the things that you're seeing and some of the developments.
What are your thoughts? Again, obviously early level of competition, really tough to kind of snuff out. But, I mean, again, these are good programs, though, on the whole. But, like, the top half of this lineup right now – you've got mixed results. Like Gage Harrelson and Lodice are performing really well. Max Williams and Cal Fisher still a little bit slow out the gate, but again, like they're 11-0. You'd wish that everything was firing on all cylinders, but the fact that they're 11-0 right now, they're only really kind of getting what they were expecting out of like 2 out of the top 4 guys in the lineup. Like I feel like Max, you can say he's going to come around. We'll see. It's more wait and see with Cal Fisher, but they obviously have so much more of a ceiling to hit. They haven't come even close to hitting their offensive ceiling so far.
Yeah, that's encouraging. Again, though, the pitching is going to really ramp up the competition they're facing. So even if they start swinging it a lot better, the results aren't going to be like they're going to have a lot of 8 for 11 weekends, these hitters, because they're going to be going up against ACC pitching. But, yeah, I like the fact that they're still winning games and still putting the ball in play. I think they struck out 4 times on Sunday. They're putting the ball in play. They're scoring runs for the most part. They didn't have a lot of clutch hitting this weekend. They still won comfortably 2 of those 3 games. But, yeah, Max has not been very good at all, honestly. He's not walking a lot. He's chasing way too much out of the zone. I think he's pressing because it's a big year for him. It's a draft year. He's projected as a first-round pick. He wants to prove that he's worthy of it. He's had a couple good swings. He had one 430 feet on Saturday and had an out. He had a ground ball like 108 that was an out. Just the guy, when he hits it, typically it goes hard. But he's not been great so far. Lodice has been terrific. And I don't know what Cal Fisher is. I would be – the way it's going now, I would be surprised if he's still batting cleanup when we get to ACC play. But he's probably got another 5 or 6 games to maybe figure that out because he's not delivering the kind of impact hits, bats. I mean, he's hitting 300 or close to it. He hasn't been. He's taken walks, but he's not been an impact batting behind Max Williams. He's not giving him a ton of protection, I don't think, right now. So we'll see what they do. Really interested in catcher, too.
Carnes and Schmalia kind of going back and forth.
And West. Like, they got 3 guys. West always plays, but he's been DHing more than he's been catching.
Because he was banged up, I guess, apparently.
But if the Plain kid comes back, now Plain is the guy that they thought was actually going to be the first baseman. He was a JUCO transfer, enormous kid. If and when he's healthy, I feel like he's your DH. So then what does that do to the catching? Because then West either is catching or not playing. Yeah. Because you want a DH that can hit 15 home runs, not a guy that, doesn't hit for a ton of power. So he's got, it'll be nice if Plain does come back, what they can do. Link keeps talking about how beat up they are, that they're really beat up. Chase Williams got hurt on Saturday. Don't know the extent of that, but it looked like a shoulder, which is too bad because I think he's a good player. That's lightning in left field. But B.J. Gibson did well.
Yeah.
In his place. Did well at the plate. My man, you can tell. I'm going to give myself.
He got the 26th out on Sunday in a little tricky situation.
Yep, it wasn't an easy out. It was in the sun. It was a high fly ball, but he went back and got it. There was a ball that was hit in the 7th that he should have caught, and he just stood there and then kind of tripped. And he had a rough game on Friday in the field. And I'm going to give myself credit for 2 great questions that I asked on this weekend.
Don't you love talking to Link, by the way?
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's great. So, on Friday, they won the game 7-2. B.J. Gibson had, I think he had one ball that he got a horrible jump on. They ended up getting it out because the guy that was stealing second didn't realize the ball had been popped up to left. Got all turned around. Then when it landed, he was sprinting back to first. So they ended up forcing him out at second anyway. But he let a ball land in front of him by 20 feet that was in the air forever. He just got a horrible jump on it. And then he had a bad jump on a ball in front of him in the ninth inning that he dove for. He thought he caught it. They said he didn't. He just wasn't getting good jumps on the ball, and then that happened again on Sunday. But anyway, so I was asking Link after Friday, I'm like, how am I going to phrase this in a 7-2 game that, why has BJ not looked great out in left field? Because he should be a really good outfielder. And I phrased it by saying, I bet he's not played a lot of left field in his life. That was a good way to phrase it, right? He's like, yeah, all our guys typically, the guys in our infield all grew up playing shortstop. And he goes, all our outfielders played center field. And he goes, left field is the biggest part of the field. He's not used to it yet. The balls come off the bats differently. So I gave him a little leeway to explain why maybe BJ was struggling in the field a bit. And but he's got to get better at it. BJ, you're going to be playing a lot. Get better jumps, buddy. But he's hitting the ball well. I like what he's doing with the bat. And then on Saturday, there was a play. They were up 11-0 in the bottom of the eighth inning with the bases loaded.
How come there wasn't a mercy rule, by the way?
Link said I guess they voted that they would do one on Sunday, but not on Saturday.
Okay.
So B.J. Gibson's up 11-0, bases loaded, 2 outs. He hits a chopper down to third. It's a very close play at first. B.J. Gibson thinks he's safe. He does the whole motion, like the hands to the ears, challenge it, go review it. And Link did. In an 11-0 game, in the eighth inning, in February or March 1st against Georgetown, Link did that. And I loved it. Because it's like, man, I played baseball. And even in an 11-0 game, I want all the hits I can get. If I earned a hit, I want to get my hit. I don't want it to matter that it's 11-0. I want my average to be as high as possible. It's a team sport, but there's also individual goals, and you want your kid to get a hit, so he would have gone 2 for 2, and he's got a little more confidence. Now I'm batting 500 or whatever it is. So he went and challenged it, and it was over. It was upheld. I'm sure the umpire was like, I am not reversing this call. It is, even if it was clear as day. I never saw the replay, but that umpire was probably like, I'm not reversing this call, even if it is safe. It's 11-0. But I asked Link about it because I didn't want to ask it like, hey man, what are we doing reviewing a play when you're up 11-0? I didn't want to do that, and also I didn't feel that. I didn't want to think I didn't want him to think I was criticizing it because I understood it. So I phrased it like, how much do you think B.J. Gibson appreciates you reviewing that play? In the 11th, up 11 runs in the eighth inning. And it got a 3-minute great answer from Link about, look, I hope that wasn't taken the wrong way. He goes, I hope he appreciated, by the coach, I wasn't trying to show anybody up. I know the score was out of hand, but I appreciated so much how BJ ran down the line as fast as he could in an 11-0 game. I felt like I owed it to him to actually see if he beat it out.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
So the coach loves what the player did by busting his butt down the line. He's not happy he hit a little chopper, but he's really trying to beat the throw in an 11-0 game. Meanwhile, the player has to appreciate that his coach is not going to just dismiss it like, come on, man, we're up 11. No, doesn't matter. But actually go to bat for him. And I got that little answer out of Link. So I was proud of that. That was all I did this weekend, but I was proud of those two.
Florida State got a busy week coming up. They've got UNF and Bethune on Tuesdays and Wednesday.
And then Lipscomb.
But they host Lipscomb for a 3-game thing as well. So I'm at the register the other day checking out. I pull out my wallet. My credit card nearly shot out. It was like dangling for dear life. It made me think if I would have pulled it out in a different sort of orientation, my card probably falls out. What if I didn't notice? Then I've got to report my lost card. I have to wait for a new credit card. I've got to put all new information in my computer when I'm buying stuff online now. It would have been a disaster. Clearly it was time for a new wallet. Enter the Ridge wallet. This thing is made with aluminum. It's smooth, everybody. Compact design, holds up to 12 cards, and if you're weird like me and you still carry cash, it's all good. It's got a built-in strap to hold the doll hairs. The Ridge wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. Literally, lifetime warranty. It could be the last wallet you'll ever have to buy. Give it a try during a 99-day risk-free trial. I think you'll stick with it. I did. Ridge is having their annual anniversary sale. Get the biggest savings of the year at ridge.com/wakeup. Get up to 40% off at ridge.com/wakeup. After purchase, it'll ask you where you heard about them. Tell them, wake up! Ridge.com/wakeup. I don't want to be lost the fact that they're winning games. I think LSU's got a loss on the year. I think they lost to Nebraska Omaha. A&M was like preseason number 1. They've lost 4 games. They've lost to Cal Poly, and then Texas State, also Arizona and Oklahoma State, so maybe a little bit better scheduling. Arkansas's lost to Kansas State. Georgia's lost to UNC Wilmington. But the beat goes on for Lincoln, the boys, so I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, just stack them up when you can, right?
Yeah.
Stack them up when you can. And that's kind of what, that's what Lonnie and the softball team did this weekend. They didn't play very good competition at all, but you get your wins and you get people to start getting comfortable at the plate again. Like Beecham had a really good weekend. Hit a couple bombs, had a double. Like, it was good to see that out of her. Like, those games weren't – I don't think any of them were competitive. They might have run ruled all of them. I know they scored 12 in an inning against Mercer.
They did. Yeah, every single one was run rule.
But they you're going to have some of those games, and it's good for the confidence of the bats and the arms to stack them up. And as long as you play clean, and again, Florida State, the baseball team, played clean. They committed 2 errors all weekend. One was a catcher's interference, which isn't really an error on a ball in play. It's just the bat hitting the glove. And then another one was Kinnear in his inning on Sunday. They bunted right back to him, and he just spiked the throw to first. Every other play throughout the whole weekend was made. That's how you win games 4-3. That's how you give up 7 runs in a weekend, because you field the ball. Don't give them extra outs.
So, yeah, softball went 5-0 this season during the dugout, 5-0 this past weekend during the Dugout Club Classic. Wins over Florida Gulf Coast and Mercer, as well as College of Charleston. Shout out Kaylee Harding and Devin Flaherty, apparently part of the Mercer Bears coaching staff.
Yeah.
Flaherty's an assistant. Harding is a graduate manager. So, all circles, all roads lead back to Florida State and Tallahassee. Lonnie and the ladies will be busy this weekend as well. They've got JU and UNF.
Okay.
Both out in Jacksonville midweek on a Wednesday, and then they'll be heading out west this weekend, man. Oregon State on Friday, Oregon on Friday as well, so they're playing doubleheader 6:30 and then 9 p.m. Eastern time. So Lonnie's putting the ladies to work. I like it. She schedules tough.
Yeah, that's what they do. And before we go,
we're going to talk about Brooke and the basketball team. Yeah.
We are, because they're playing after we record.
Oh, all right. Well,
they're playing Duke on Sunday night.
Oh,
so,
all right. Well,
so we don't know. So we don't know how they did.
The win over Notre Dame, I just wanted to congrats.
Oh, that was a great win. Great win. Great team. Great team win. Latson did what she was supposed to do late in the game and just took over. That was awesome. It was awesome to see. That was a huge win. It's going to be dated because they'll have just played Duke. Hopefully they won that one too. We have transparency. We recorded before that. Because it's our anniversary, Stephanie and I's. But yeah, hopefully they won that game too. But either way, it was a great week. When you can go on the road and win at Notre Dame, that's great. Latson took over down the stretch. Michaela Timpson is an incredible basketball player. She gets overshadowed because of who else is on her team. So yeah, it was one of the bigger wins in school history, honestly, and definitely the biggest win of Brooks' career. And it guarantees they're in the tournament. It also probably upped them a seed line or two. So now they don't have to play like the 1-8 game. Maybe they get to play a 3-6 game in the second round if they can win.
All right. What happened in basketball?
They lost.
Yeah.
They gave up 100 to Duke. It was never competitive. Malik Ewan did not play. It wasn't supposed to be competitive, and it wasn't. It lived up to that. They were 23-point underdogs, and they couldn't cover. Lost like 100 to 57 or something. Playing out the string. 2 more. You got Virginia on the road, which is a winnable game, but I think it's going to be tough to win, especially if Ewan's not playing. We don't have an update on his status. And then the home game Saturday against SMU that I hope everybody comes out for to send Leonard off in fine fashion. And before we let go, though, Aslan, got to give a shout-out to our man Luke Clanton.
Oh, yeah.
Earning his PGA Tour card while he's still on the Florida State college golf team. This seems unprecedented. I'm sure it's happened before, but I've never heard of it. He's been so good in his exempt tour performances that he's had that he's already earned a PGA Tour card, even though he's not a professional golfer, because he's got 4 top 10 finishes, I think. And then this week, he shot a 69 on Sunday. He's in the top 20, right? Let's see. I'm looking at it. Yeah, in the dang top 20. He's tied for 19th. He shot a 69. He's 12 under for the tournament. He's going to finish probably 6 or 7 out of the lead. And he doesn't get any of the money that he would get if he was actually a pro. But he says he wants to win a national championship at Florida State. Let's hope he makes that happen. But what an unbelievable accomplishment to already have your tour card at 21 without even having to go to Q school or be a pro. He's already earned it, so good for him.
And I guess Azarie didn't really do a lot of testing out in Indianapolis this past weekend, but had a successful week. He's climbing up boards, it sounds like. I think Joshua Farmer was top 5 in bench press for all defensive linemen out there in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So,
and Daniel Jeremiah keeps saying that Farmer's one of his top 50 players on the board.
All right.
So he might be a second round pick. Azarie could be a first round pick, probably at worst a second round pick. So again, more guys from that 2023 team that ended up being pretty good.
Fitzy also, I think his parents tweeted something about he was like 15 of 16 out there on field goals. So
kicked 4 from 50, 2 from 55, and 1 from 60 is what they tweeted out. I have no way of verifying that, but we're assuming they're not lying. Kid's really good, really talented. Hope he gets drafted too.
All right, that's a wrap for us. Jeff Cameron Show, though, 1 to 4 o'clock. Check him out. Speaking of which, if you want more information on the whole ACC FSU lawsuit, some good news this past week for FSU. Florida Supreme Court basically said they will not pause the trial. It's going to continue on here in Florida on the circuit level. That might not be the most eloquent, articulate way of stating it, but Ira usually does hits on Jeff's show on Monday, so be sure to check out the Jeff Cameron Show and warchant.com, open around the clock all the time. Jump in there, get involved, everybody. Also, if you're like a regular member of warchant.com and you want to upgrade to the gold level where there's like no ads and you get access to the Renegade Room and some other stuff, I think you also get like a 20% discount to Garnet and Gold. We're also throwing a $20 Garnet and Gold gift card your way, so it pretty much breaks even. So you're really not even spending any extra money when you really think about it. I think that's the way it works. #boy math. All right, for Corey Maslon, we'll do a couple more shows this week, so stay involved with us. Download the show so it'll just drop into your phone or device whenever we do one of these. Have fun for the celebratory drinks with your lady there, Corey Clark.
Hey, thank you, Aslan. I appreciate that. She says hello.
Awesome. We'll reconvene, everybody. He's Corey Maslon. Thanks for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy.